recording the album.
Update 2.
Update 2. Update 2.
We're doing online and then just one plug in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We just do it online and just charge it for right now?
You can't. It's not big. I can get it. We decided pretty early on that we wanted to go with Zach and Kenneth, who did our first album, Lesson Romantics, just because
Felt very comfortable with them. It's a big cab.
It's a big boy. Say hey. Yeah.
yeah, we went straight up from the end of writing at Alligator Point, straight up to Atlanta, up to Alpharetta, and then recorded the album there. Spent 2 months. The first 2 weeks were pre-production, and the rest of it was tracking the album. But then, in between, we actually took a break and did Soundwave in Australia for 2 weeks.
Yeah, right in the middle of it.
Came back and finished. So I think at that point we had finished pre-production, and then we had tracked the drums and some of the bass whenever we left.
And I don't know what the word is on the second part, but that same spot is the last for the second half. Okay. I don't think he says left.
The word it'd be the word just.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. The reason it doesn't work so well is because I think that note's being played and I'm playing. You know what I mean? The half step. That's why you probably didn't like that chord.
Now it's hard to see with all these flashing cameras in my face.
Yeah,
Soundwave.
Pre-production just being the time spent with our, songs as complete as we had them, which was pretty far along for most all the tracks. And you could go in and work with the producers to see what their ideas might be, mostly just for structuring and whatnot for the songs. And that was all done in a 3-story house where the studio is just set up in basically the bottom floor basement.
One other thing that was perfect. You didn't do the just accent, but besides that was perfect.
So we didn't really leave the studio for that whole time, which was, I think, a great way to do it. We could spend a lot of time after the sessions during the day, at night, going back on the tracks, coming up with more ideas on top of what we had already created.
Yeah, absolutely. I think living at the studio was really nice. The same way that, living in Alligator Point for that month was really nice for us.
So you were saying it's bumming you out that the first one is the only one of that 4 where it lands in that one spot?
No, that doesn't really bother. No, yeah, I'm fine with it being that way. I'm fine with it doing the B, the chorus the way we're doing it now, and then the double D. I'm fine with that.
So, like we said a second ago, we tracked majority of the drums and bass before we went to Australia. Now, while we were in Australia, Derek was trying to come up with the rest of the lyrics for some of the songs. So a lot of the things we were doing like on the spot, like coming up with a couple of days before, like sort of finalizing all of the ideas as we were, recording them at the same time.
I'm on the last kill. We need to do this at least first. Oh, come on, kill him. Oh, it's a battle. It's a battle to the death.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's, we've never gone into the studio with a completely 100% finished, idea before we go in. There's always some songs that are more finished than others, and parts that still don't have lyrics or whatever. But yeah, that's
right when they say the
people singing like the same thing, like
the the newest chorus version.
But it's more of
right. It does it the first way, the way that the non-typical thing, right?
You know what I mean? Because that went.
Second half is the one you said. Oh, that's where we kind of do that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it goes to the double D.
Where in the morning, Brooks would track up until probably we had lunch or something, and then after that, Derek would come in and track his leads. And we did that, I guess, for Derek's voice, so that Derek has time for his voice to warm up. so he's not, you know, so his voice isn't rough in the morning.
Slosh, open hi-hat, and then when the pre-chorus comes, you still do
You should.
open slosh hi-hat, yeah. So no Lars Ulrich.
One thing that
We brought some people in to do live strings. Our friend Seth, man, and Zach played viola, and then for cello we had one of Zach's friends come in and play cello, and then we had what's that? Gail. And we had a small choir come in and do some choir stuff. Kenneth played trumpet on a part, and Kenneth doesn't know how to play trumpet. He bought one like 2 days before, and he was just trying to learn how to play.
It works with both. I could be completely wrong because I don't sing, but I still, in the bridge, like hearing. But you should have a bridge melody, right? So it goes.
Go to the weird chord.
Right now it's going. But I want it to go.
The weird.
Yeah.
Like it does before the second chorus.
You know, or maybe it goes there instead. But that half step does still work with the vocal pattern.
Where'd you do the piano?
I tracked most of the piano stuff at the same studio that we tracked the drums. We tracked the drums at a different place, Tree Sound, which is where we tracked our first album, Lesser Romantics, with the